human communication is not limited to words alone. In fact, a large part of what we feel and express happens through body language, subtle gestures, and emotional signals. In relationships and attraction, people often communicate interest without directly saying it. Sometimes a woman may never say the words, "kiss me," yet her body language, comfort level, and emotional openness may reveal far more than spoken language ever could. Understanding these signals requires emotional intelligence, respect, and awareness. According to relationship psychology, often discussed by experts like Sadia Khan, attraction is rarely expressed in obvious ways. Instead, it appears through small behavioral cues. How someone looks at you, how close they stand, or how relaxed they feel around you. These signals are not commands or guarantees, but they can reflect growing comfort, trust, and emotional connection. Recognizing these signs is not about assuming or rushing intimacy. It is about understanding human psychology and respecting boundaries. When two people feel safe, connected, and emotionally aligned, their body language naturally becomes warmer and more expressive. Body language often communicates feelings that words cannot fully capture. In human interaction, especially when attraction is involved, what a person does with their body can sometimes reveal more than what they actually say. Many people hesitate to express their emotions directly, either because of shyness, cultural expectations, or a natural desire to move slowly in a developing connection. In these situations, body language becomes a quiet but powerful form of communication. It speaks through eye contact, posture, facial expressions, and the small, almost unnoticeable movements that happen naturally when someone feels comfortable and drawn toward another person. When a woman feels relaxed and emotionally safe around someone, her body language often becomes more open and expressive. She may lean slightly closer during conversation, not because she is consciously trying to send a message, but because her mind and body feel at ease in that moment. This natural leaning forward is a subtle signal of engagement and interest. It shows that she wants to listen, connect, and remain present in the interaction. Similarly, prolonged eye contact can be another powerful indicator. Eyes have a unique ability to communicate emotion. When someone maintains warm, steady eye contact, it often suggests attentiveness, curiosity, and emotional openness. Another important aspect of body language is mirroring. Psychologists often explain that when two people feel connected, they unconsciously begin to mirror each other's movements. If one person leans back, the other may lean back as well. If one person smiles or tilts their head while listening, the other might repeat a similar gesture without even realizing it. This mirroring effect happens because the human brain naturally tries to create harmony and connection in social interactions. It is not a deliberate action, but rather a reflection of comfort and mutual engagement. Facial expressions also play a major role in silent communication. A genuine smile, especially one that reaches the eyes, often indicates warmth and authenticity. When someone smiles frequently during a conversation, it usually reflects enjoyment and emotional ease. Small expressions such as raised eyebrows, soft laughter, or a gentle nod while listening can all signal that the person is emotionally involved in the moment. These expressions might seem simple, but they carry powerful emotional meaning. Physical proximity is another way body language reveals comfort and attraction. When someone feels uneasy or uninterested, they naturally create distance. However, when they feel comfortable, that distance slowly decreases. A woman might stand or sit slightly closer than necessary, or she may not move away when the space between two people becomes smaller. This does not mean she is making a direct request for physical affection, but it often indicates that she feels safe and relaxed in the presence of the other person. Touch, even in its most innocent forms, can also be part of this silent communication. A light touch on the arm while laughing, a brief tap on the shoulder to emphasize a point, or a playful gesture during conversation can sometimes reflect comfort and familiarity. These small actions often happen naturally when someone feels emotionally connected. However, it is important to remember that these gestures can have different meanings depending on the context and the personality of the individual. Not every gesture automatically signals romantic interest, which is why awareness and respect are always essential. Posture can reveal a lot about how someone feels in a moment. An open posture, where the shoulders are relaxed, the arms are not tightly crossed, and the body is oriented toward the other person, often reflects interest and attentiveness. In contrast, closed posture can sometimes indicate discomfort, distraction, or emotional distance. When someone consistently turns their body toward you during a conversation, it shows that their attention is focused and that they value the interaction. What makes body language so fascinating is that most of it happens unconsciously. People rarely plan these gestures or think about them in advance. They occur naturally as the brain responds to emotions and social comfort. This is why body language is often considered more honest than spoken words. Words can be carefully chosen or even hidden behind politeness, but the body tends to reveal the true emotional state of a person. At the same time, understanding body language requires patience and emotional intelligence. No single gesture should ever be interpreted as a definite sign of attraction. Instead, it is the combination of multiple signals over time that provides a clearer picture of someone's feelings. Observing these patterns with sensitivity allows people to better understand each other without forcing or assuming anything. Healthy connections are built not just on attraction, but also on respect, communication, and mutual comfort. When both people feel safe expressing themselves through words and through body language, the relationship can develop naturally and authentically. Paying attention to these subtle signals can deepen understanding, but true connection always grows strongest when kindness, patience, and respect guide every interaction, because sometimes the most meaningful conversations are the ones spoken without a single word. Emotional comfort is one of the strongest foundations of human connection. When two people begin to feel safe with each other, their behavior naturally changes in subtle but meaningful ways. Attraction is not always expressed through bold words or obvious actions. Often it grows quietly through shared moments, trust, and emotional understanding. When a woman feels emotionally comfortable with someone, her body language and physical presence may gradually reflect that sense of safety. The distance between two people begins to feel smaller, conversations become more relaxed, and closeness starts to feel natural rather than forced. At the beginning of any interaction, most people maintain a certain level of physical distance. This distance acts as a protective boundary while two individuals are still getting to know each other. However, as emotional comfort grows, that boundary slowly softens. A woman who feels secure and relaxed may begin to stand or sit closer during conversations. This closeness is rarely planned or intentional. It happens naturally because the environment feels safe and welcoming. When someone feels emotionally understood, their mind allows their body to relax, and that relaxation often reduces the need for distance. Another sign of emotional comfort is the ease with which conversations flow. When a woman feels comfortable, she is more likely to engage in longer discussions, maintain attention, and remain physically present in the moment. Instead of looking for reasons to step away or end the interaction, she may linger a little longer, enjoying the connection that is forming. This willingness to remain close, both emotionally and physically, reflects a growing level of trust. Trust is what transforms ordinary interactions into meaningful connections. Emotional safety also allows natural expressions of warmth to appear. A woman who feels comfortable might laugh more freely, smile more often, or show a relaxed posture when she is around someone she trusts. Her shoulders may loosen, her body may face toward the person she is talking to, and her gestures may become more open and expressive. These subtle signs indicate that she does not feel guarded or tense. Instead, she feels calm enough to be herself without worrying about judgment or misunderstanding. Physical closeness can also appear in the way people position themselves during shared activities. For example, when walking together, someone who feels comfortable might naturally walk side by side rather than keeping a large gap. When sitting together, she may lean slightly toward the conversation rather than leaning away. These movements are not deliberate attempts to send signals. They simply reflect the body's natural response to emotional ease. When the mind feels safe, the body becomes more relaxed and receptive. Another important aspect of emotional comfort is the willingness to share personal thoughts and experiences. When a woman opens up emotionally, it often strengthens the sense of connection between two people. As emotional vulnerability increases, physical distance may feel less necessary because trust has already been established on a deeper level. This does not mean that physical closeness automatically implies romantic intent, but it often reflects a level of comfort that allows two people to interact more naturally. Moments of light, casual touch can sometimes emerge from this sense of emotional ease as well. A gentle tap on the arm while laughing, a brief touch on the shoulder during conversation, or playful gestures can happen when someone feels relaxed and connected. These small actions are usually spontaneous and friendly rather than calculated. They often occur when the emotional environment feels positive and safe. However, it is always important to understand that everyone has different comfort levels with physical contact, and respecting personal boundaries is essential in any healthy interaction. Emotional comfort also reduces self-consciousness. When a woman feels at ease, she does not feel the need to constantly monitor her behavior or maintain a protective barrier. Instead, she can focus on enjoying the moment and the conversation. This authenticity often makes interactions feel warmer and more genuine. People are naturally drawn to environments where they feel accepted and valued, and this acceptance often encourages closeness in both emotional and physical ways. It is important to remember that true closeness develops gradually. Healthy connections are built through patience, mutual respect, and clear communication. Physical closeness that grows from emotional comfort is very different from closeness that is rushed or pressured. When both people feel respected and understood, their connection can develop naturally without the need for forced signals or assumptions. Understanding this dynamic requires emotional awareness and maturity. Observing someone's comfort level should never be used to rush intimacy or misinterpret intentions. Instead, it should encourage greater respect and sensitivity toward the other person's feelings. Genuine connection is not about interpreting every small gesture as a sign of attraction. It is about recognizing when someone feels safe, valued, and comfortable in your presence. When emotional comfort becomes the foundation of a relationship, physical closeness often follows naturally. It is not something that needs to be demanded or forced because it grows quietly from trust, warmth, and shared understanding. And when two people reach that level of comfort with each other, their presence alone can speak louder than any words ever could. Eye contact and facial expressions are among the most powerful forms of nonverbal communication. Long before people speak openly about attraction or interest, their eyes and expressions often begin revealing what they feel inside. Human beings are naturally wired to read faces and interpret eye contact because these signals help us understand emotions, intentions, and comfort levels in social interactions. In many situations, the way someone looks at you or responds with their facial expressions can communicate far more than spoken words ever could. When a woman is genuinely interested or emotionally engaged in a conversation, her eyes often become more focused and attentive. Instead of frequently looking away or appearing distracted, she may maintain steady eye contact while listening. This type of eye contact shows that she is present in the moment and paying close attention to the interaction. It signals that the conversation matters to her and that she values the connection being formed. Eye contact creates a sense of closeness between two people because it allows them to share attention and emotional awareness at the same time. However, meaningful eye contact is rarely intense or uncomfortable. Instead, it tends to feel natural and relaxed. A woman may look at you while you speak, briefly look away, and then return her gaze again. This rhythm of looking and returning often reflects comfort rather than nervousness. Sometimes she may hold eye contact slightly longer when smiling or laughing, which can create a warm and engaging atmosphere. These small moments can make conversations feel more personal and emotionally connected. Facial expressions also play a major role in expressing interest and emotional engagement. A genuine smile is one of the clearest signs that someone is enjoying the interaction. Real smiles usually involve more than just the lips. The eyes often soften and the cheeks lift naturally. This type of smile is difficult to fake because it reflects genuine emotion. When a woman smiles frequently during a conversation, especially in response to what you say, it often shows that she feels comfortable and enjoys the interaction. Another important signal can appear in subtle reactions. For example, a woman who is emotionally engaged might raise her eyebrows slightly when you say something surprising or interesting. She might nod gently while listening to show that she understands and agrees. These expressions show that she is mentally and emotionally involved in the conversation rather than simply waiting for it to end. Engagement through facial reactions indicates that she values what you are saying and wants to remain connected in the moment. Laughter is another powerful expression of comfort and interest. When someone laughs easily during conversation, it often means they feel relaxed and safe enough to express their emotions openly. Light laughter, playful smiles, or amused expressions can make the interaction feel natural and enjoyable. These reactions often appear when a woman feels that the person she is speaking with understands her sense of humor and shares a positive emotional energy. Sometimes interest can also appear through softer expressions that reveal attentiveness. A woman may tilt her head slightly while listening, which often signals curiosity and engagement. This gesture can indicate that she is focusing carefully on what you are saying and that she finds the conversation meaningful. When someone consistently responds with attentive facial expressions, it shows that they are emotionally present rather than distant or distracted. It is also important to understand that eye contact and facial expressions often work together to communicate feelings. A warm smile combined with steady eye contact can create a sense of sincerity and openness. When these signals appear naturally throughout a conversation, they can make the interaction feel more comfortable and genuine. People are more likely to connect with someone whose expressions reflect authenticity and emotional warmth. At the same time, interpreting these signals requires patience and awareness. No single expression or moment of eye contact should be treated as a definite sign of romantic attraction. People smile and maintain eye contact in many social situations simply because they are polite, friendly, or naturally expressive. The real meaning often becomes clearer when these signals appear consistently over time, alongside other signs of comfort and engagement. Understanding nonverbal communication is not about making assumptions, but about developing emotional intelligence. When someone shows interest through their eyes and expressions, it often reflects a deeper sense of comfort and connection. Observing these cues can help people become more aware of each other's feelings and respond with respect and sensitivity. Ultimately, the most meaningful interactions happen when two people feel free to express themselves naturally. Eye contact and facial expressions create a silent dialogue that supports the spoken conversation. They add warmth, sincerity, and emotional depth to every interaction, reminding us that sometimes the most honest messages are not spoken out loud, but quietly shared through a simple look and a genuine smile. Respect and awareness are the foundations of every healthy interaction between two people. While body language, eye contact, and emotional signals can provide insights into someone's feelings, it is important to remember that these signs should never be interpreted as permission or certainty. Human emotions are complex, and every individual expresses comfort and attraction in different ways. This is why understanding nonverbal communication must always go hand in hand with respect, patience, and emotional maturity. When people interact, they bring their own experiences, personalities, and boundaries into the situation. A gesture that might seem friendly or warm to one person could feel different to someone else. Because of this, assuming too much based on a single signal can lead to misunderstandings. True emotional intelligence means observing carefully, staying aware of the other person's comfort level, and always valuing their boundaries. Respect means recognizing that no one owes another person physical or emotional closeness simply because of a few positive signals. Awareness begins with paying attention not only to signs of comfort, but also to signs of hesitation or discomfort. Just as open body language and warm expressions can signal ease, closed posture, limited eye contact, or physical distance can indicate that someone prefers more space. When a person is truly respectful, they notice these changes and respond by adjusting their behavior. Respectful individuals do not push or pressure situations. Instead, they allow interactions to develop naturally. Another important part of respect is understanding the role of consent in any form of physical closeness. Even when two people seem comfortable with each other, consent remains essential. Genuine connection grows when both individuals feel safe expressing what they want and what they do not want. Clear communication, whether verbal or nonverbal, ensures that both people feel valued and heard. When someone respects another person's boundaries, it builds trust, and trust is the strongest foundation for any meaningful relationship. Awareness also means understanding that cultural values, personal upbringing, and individual personality can influence how someone expresses themselves. Some people are naturally more expressive with their gestures, smiles, and physical proximity, while others are more reserved even when they feel interested or comfortable. This difference does not mean that one person feels more or less attraction than another. It simply reflects different communication styles. Recognizing these differences helps prevent misinterpretation and encourages more thoughtful interactions. Patience is another essential element of respectful behavior. Real connection cannot be rushed or forced. When two people feel comfortable and safe with each other, their relationship naturally grows stronger over time. Trying to move too quickly can create pressure and make the other person feel uncomfortable. On the other hand, allowing space for the relationship to develop gradually shows maturity and emotional stability. Patience demonstrates that you value the other person's feelings rather than focusing only on your own desires. Respectful interactions also involve empathy. Empathy means trying to understand how the other person might be feeling in a particular moment. Instead of focusing solely on interpreting signals, empathetic individuals consider the emotional context of the situation. They ask themselves whether the other person seems relaxed, happy, or comfortable before assuming anything about attraction or interest. This kind of awareness strengthens emotional connection because it shows genuine care for the other person's experience. When respect and awareness guide interactions, communication becomes healthier and more meaningful. People feel safer expressing themselves honestly when they know their boundaries will be honored. This safety encourages openness, which in turn deepens the connection between two individuals. Without respect, even the strongest attraction can fade quickly because trust cannot survive where boundaries are ignored. It is also important to remember that attraction alone does not define the value of a relationship. Friendship, mutual support, and emotional understanding are just as important. When respect is present, people are able to appreciate each other not only for potential romance, but also for the qualities that make them unique as individuals. This broader appreciation creates stronger and more balanced relationships.